Good afternoon, Dr. Okei-Odumakin. As one of the prominent and frontline voices that have been leading the agitation for recognition of June 12 as the official Democracy Day in Nigeria, the current president of the Federation, President Muhammadu Buhari, has declared that June 12 henceforth will be recognized as Democracy Day. And we think that civil society should be jubilant at this time. Are you happy about this declaration?
Well, one is a bit happy. It's long overdue. For 25 years, we have always clamored for June 12 to be recognized as Democracy Day. Since 1999, May 29, when May 29 became the government official Democracy Day, we had said that without June 12, there wouldn't have been a May 29. June 12, yes, one is a bit happy about it. It's our Democracy Day because June 12 was the day Nigeria had the fairest, most peaceful. Nigeria put aside their primordial interests and overwhelmingly voted for a Muslim ticket. June 12 was about ballot protection. The national question was resolved, and ballot integrity. June 12 remains a watershed. So, for the recognition 25 years after, it's overcome developments, but more needs to be done. At least honoring Abiola with GCFR. That's the honor that is given to past presidents and past head of states. It should be good if the National Assembly can gazette it. If it's an executive order, then we want to press for the posthumous recognition of MKO Abiola as a past president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where we have portraits of all past presidents. MKO Abiola's portraits should also be there. And one thing about June 12 is that the true spirit of June 12 is the free and fair elections. And so for that spirit to be entrenched, we want equity should be used as litmus test in terms of free, fair, and credible election from Ekiti to Osun, from Osun to the general elections. That's the only way that we can immortalize MKO Abiola.
So it is beyond the declaration of June 12 as the Democracy Day in Nigeria. So that will not satisfy the civil society's curiosity and demand or request so far.
It's beyond that. One thing is that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So after 25 years and having to right the wrong, having to redress the injustice, I think that for us to have a complete celebration or a complete recognition, government should also demonstrate more political will by doing the needful, and that needful is the recognition, because if GCFR is given to past heads of state and past presidents, then Abiola has fallen into such category. So in another first sword, let Abiola be recognized. Such a recognition will go a long way in redressing the injustice, and we can finally bid Abiola farewell. We can finally tell Kudirat Abiola good night. So, but as it is now, it's halfway done. We still need such to be done. And some people will ask, on what elections? Yes, we had the results of June 12. One of our demands was that you should gazette the results. But we all know, and it's glaring that over 14 million people voted. And what happened that time can never happen when you pair Muslim together. So we have everything embedded in June 12, and that is why, for once, let us do it right as a country.
This is beginning to sound like we are not yet ready to move on. There's a section of the country that is reacting another way, saying that, well, this is only like a political move to appease the southwestern people or electorate so that they can vote President Buhari again. But to the civil society might be different, and that's why we are curious now. Do you feel that this is enough to stop agitations if everything you requested for MKO Abiola is done posthumously? Would this resolve every protest, marches, rallies, and agitations by the civil society? Is that all?
Freedom comes by struggle. And for those who had said it was political, few days ago, May 29 was marked as Democracy Day. And on June 4, we came out to mark the 22nd anniversary. But just few hours after that, we then had this declaration. Well, let us be interested more in the message and not the messenger. If we have to address the messenger, then one would have already said, why this time? Is it another diversionary tactics? But I just want those of us within the civil society, Nigerians, to take that message, and that message is that June 12 is now Democracy Day. That message is that Abiola is going to be honored alongside with Gani Fahimi, who gave all for freedom. But this is just the starting point. And I want as citizens that if we organize less and organize more, how can we organize more? How can we ensure that the lessons of June 12 will imbibe that? I want citizens to go get their permanent voters card. Be ready to vote, and in voting anybody in will be based on the person's track record and performance. When, after casting our votes, we should be ready to defend our votes, and never again should anyone take us back to those dark days when the will of the people were just suppressed. So citizens can do a lot more. Government should also learn from this example. But learning from the example will be taken, Ekiti will be taken as a litmus test. After Ekiti, Osun, and then the whole country. It's so embarrassing, it's worrisome, traumatic for us to organize world elections, local government elections, and people die. One person that was killed might be the best president we have ever produced in Nigeria. So let's learn from that lesson of June 12. And I tell us that this is the beginning. We'll continue to clamor, we'll continue to agitate, and we'll continue to insist that MK Abiola should be given his fair share. June 12 was a watershed. So MK Abiola's recognition is very, very important. It's the umbilical cord for the final recognition of this supreme price that was paid.
Lastly, I want to ask, this is the first time the request is being acceded to. It's been a long time. The clamor has been on from the civil society quarters, but this is coming at a time when there is rift of disagreement between President Muhammadu Buhari and former President Olusegun Obasanjo, even though throughout his own tenure, the agitation was never responded to positively by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Would you see this as still political? And what do you say about the former president who refused to listen to this yearning until President Buhari came and he is about to complete his first tenure?
I think it's just like the clash of the titans. We said it then that former President Obasanjo, someone who rode to the villa through the skull, through the blood of MK Abiola, will not even acknowledge such in one sentence the supreme price that was paid. Well, to those who said it's suspicion because of the clash, even the person who led the cabal that annulled the election had his own disagreement or his own clash with the president. So when we just think that the people are the ones that are now are getting the dividends, and the dividends are acceding to their long demand of 25 years. So I think more than ever, citizens should realize power of the people that remains sacrosanct. They should also realize that the voice of the people, when we voice out, that one also remains sacrosanct. But more than ever, our people must rededicate themselves. They must shine their eyes very well. They must also ensure that anyone that will be voted, that person must have demonstrated enough pro-people tendencies. IBB, OBJ still have that window to do the needful. This current dispensation did that some few hours ago. So theirs, can still be done. But
there's still room for repentance.
Yes, yes, there's still room for repentance. And when such a repentance takes place, we will not look at the messenger again. We will now address the message. We recently marked Kudirat Abiola 22nd anniversary, and Kudirat's life, uncommon courage, dogged, resilient, unassuming. She was, sorry to use that word, she was fanatically committed to the actualization of June 12. And she said that she was ready to pay the supreme price. Women, citizens, women, we can use our numerical strength to assert ourselves. And women should realize that where determination exists, failure can never dismantle the flag of success. Kudirat Abiola always roared like a lioness in the gathering of pro-democracy movement. And when ordinarily men would turn to jellies at the sight of gun and money, she stood firm. So we just want our women to take the good example of uncommon courage from Kudirat, and they should not be deterred. And federal government should also realize that Kudirat Abiola remains a heroine. She paid the supreme price. She has a place in history. And not until we redress all the wrongs, injustice to one is injustice to all. We are still doing injustice to Kudirat Abiola. And that's why I've said 22 years after, we can never say farewell to Kudirat. It's not yet time for her to rest. She must. And she died for our collective responsibility. So we must keep redressing all those injustices. And federal government should also recognize Kudirat Abiola. Women must brace up. Women must be assertive. No one should allow women to be turned to cheerleader and to be kept at the background. What Kudirat has done, we don't need to go and buy history books to read about commitment, about courage, about doggedness. All those qualities are imbibed in Kudirat Abiola. We will never forget Kudirat, and the federal government must also pay her due, because she died for a collective struggle. So it's a collective responsibility
to give her accolades.
Yes, that she's honored.
Thank you very much, Dr. Okei-Odumakin. It's been nice talking with you today.
Pleasure. Thank you.